In the dimly lit streets of Desolation Falls, a small town nestled deep within the mountains, an unsettling sense of unease settled over the community. The town had always been a quiet and tranquil place, but that tranquility was shattered when a young woman named Emily Turner vanished without a trace. Detective Alex Brooks, a seasoned investigator known for his unrelenting determination, was assigned to the case. As he arrived in Desolation Falls, the atmosphere was thick with tension, and the air felt unusually frigid, even for the early winter season. Brooks wasted no time diving into the investigation. He questioned Emily's family, friends, and colleagues, hoping to piece together her last known whereabouts. But as he delved deeper, an eerie pattern emerged. Several residents reported hearing faint whispers in the dead of night, whispers that seemed to echo through the town's deserted streets. Local legend had it that the whispers were the voices of the lost souls who had met their demise in the unforgiving wilderness surrounding Desolation Falls. Brooks was determined to dismiss these tales as mere superstition, but the pervasive unease among the townspeople was hard to ignore. In Emily's room, Brooks discovered a diary that detailed her growing obsession with the town's history. She had been researching the disappearance of a group of loggers in the late 1800s, who had mysteriously vanished while working in the nearby forest. As Brooks pored over the diary, he realized that the disappearances from decades ago shared uncanny similarities with Emily's own vanishing. Could history be repeating itself, or was there something more sinister at play? Brooks delved into the town's archives, unearthing newspaper clippings and records that chronicled the loggers' disappearance. The records spoke of unexplained phenomena, shadows that seemed to move on their own, eerie whispers that filled the air, and an unshakable feeling of dread that had gripped the loggers in their final days. As Brooks spoke to the older residents of Desolation Falls, he discovered that the whispers had been a part of the town's lore for generations. The loggers' fate had been shrouded in mystery, and the incident had left scars that still haunted the community. Brooks decided to venture into the dense forest that surrounded Desolation Falls, hoping to find clues about Emily's disappearance. The forest was a labyrinth of ancient trees and winding paths, and as he ventured deeper, an eerie silence seemed to envelop him. As twilight descended, Brooks stumbled upon an abandoned cabin hidden among the trees. The cabin's windows were shattered, and its walls bore the scars of time. A shiver ran down his spine as he stepped inside, feeling the weight of history pressing upon him. Inside the cabin, Brooks discovered a collection of old photographs and tattered journal entries. The photographs depicted the loggers who had vanished so many years ago, their faces etched with a mixture of determination and trepidation. The journal entries revealed the loggers' growing unease as they reported hearing whispers that seemed to emanate from the very walls of the cabin. Brooks realized that the cabin was a crucial piece of the puzzle, a link between the past and the present. He couldn't shake the feeling that the loggers' fate was connected to Emily's disappearance in ways that defied explanation. As darkness settled over the forest, Brooks' flashlight pierced the shadows, revealing a chilling scene. The air grew colder, and an unsettling stillness seemed to descend upon the cabin. He couldn't escape the sensation that he was being watched, that unseen eyes were following his every move. Whispers, faint at first, began to echo through the cabin's corridors. Brooks' heart raced as the voices grew louder, their words unintelligible but laden with an otherworldly weight. The cabin itself seemed to come alive, its walls seemingly pulsating with an eerie energy. As Brooks struggled to maintain his composure, a shadowy figure materialized before him. The figure's form was indistinct, like a distortion of reality itself. Its eyes, or what appeared to be eyes, gleamed with an unnatural intensity, fixed upon Brooks as if assessing his very soul. Frozen with a mixture of fear and fascination, Brooks attempted to communicate with the figure. His words hummed in the air, met with an unsettling silence. Then, in a fleeting instant, the figure vanished, leaving behind only a chilling echo. Brooks emerged from the cabin, his mind reeling from the encounter. He was certain that the figure held the key to the mysteries surrounding Desolation Falls, the loggers' disappearance, and Emily's fate. The whispers that had plagued the town for generations were no longer confined to myth. They were a palpable presence, an echo of the past that refused to be silenced. Desperation fueled his determination to uncover the truth. With each step he took, the forest seemed to close in around him, its ancient trees casting elongated shadows that danced in the moonlight. Back in Desolation Falls, Brooks sought the guidance of an enigmatic figure known as the Seer. The Seer was said to possess knowledge of the supernatural, a deep understanding of the town's dark history. Their home was a sanctuary of mysterious artifacts and arcane symbols, where the boundary between the mundane and the otherworldly blurred. As Brooks explained his encounters in the cabin, the seer's eyes glinted with a mix of recognition and concern. With a voice laden with gravitas, the seer revealed the truth behind the logger's disappearance and the whispers that haunted Desolation Falls. According to the seer, the loggers had unknowingly trespassed upon an ancient burial ground of a Native American tribe. The tribe's spiritual leaders had performed rituals to protect their sacred land, imbuing it with a potent force that held malevolent spirits at bay. The loggers' intrusion had disrupted the delicate balance between the living and the spirits, unleashing an entity known as the Whisperer, a vengeful spirit condemned to wander the forest, forever seeking restitution. The Whisperer, the seer explained, fed on fear and despair, growing stronger with each soul it claimed. The loggers had fallen victim to its insidious influence, and now Emily had become its latest target. The seer warned that if the Whisperer wasn't appeased, it would continue to wreak havoc on Desolation Falls. Brooks knew that he had to confront the Whisperer, to delve into the heart of its curse and unearth a way to break its hold on the town. With the seer's guidance, Brooks embarked on a quest to perform a ritual that would appease the vengeful spirit. The ritual required a mix of ceremonial objects, ancient incantations, and a sacrifice of the purest intention. As Brooks collected the items needed for the ritual, he couldn't escape the weight of the impending confrontation. The forest, once a place of tranquility, now held an otherworldly aura that seemed to pulse with anticipation. On the night of the ritual, Desolation Falls lay cloaked in darkness. The forest, its trees swaying with an ethereal breeze, beckoned Brooks to the cabin. Armed with the seer's instructions, he stepped inside, the air heavy with anticipation. Candles flickered, casting dancing shadows across the walls. The incantations flowed from his lips as he performed the ritual with unwavering determination. The cabin seemed to come alive, its walls resonating with a haunting melody that echoed the whispers of the past. As the final incantation reverberated through the cabin, a shiver ran down Brooks' spine. The air grew colder, and the shadows seemed to converge into a single point. The Whisperer materialized before him, its form a swirling vortex of darkness. Brooks' heart pounded as he stared into the abyssal eyes of the vengeful spirit. He could feel the weight of its malevolence, the centuries of anger and despair that had fueled its existence. But within that darkness, he sensed a glimmer of humanity, a spark of the soul it once was. As Brooks faced the Whisperer, he knew that the outcome of this encounter would shape the fate of Desolation Falls. He had hoped to confront the spirit with anger and resolve, but now he realized that empathy and understanding might be his greatest allies. With a steady voice, Brooks addressed the Whisperer, acknowledging its pain and the injustice that had bound it to its cursed existence. He recounted the stories of the loggers, the innocent lives it had claimed, and Emily's disappearance. He spoke of a shared quest for redemption, a way to break the cycle of suffering. To Brooks' surprise, the Whisperer's darkness wavered. In the depths of its eyes, he saw a reflection of the torment it had endured. The air seemed to still as the spirit considered his words, its form flickering like a dying flame. Brooks continued to speak, his voice infused with empathy and compassion. He offered the Whisperer a chance to find solace and release from its torment, to find a way to move on from the pain that had ensnared it for centuries. As Brooks' words echoed through the cabin, the Whisperer's form began to waver, its darkness giving way to tendrils of ethereal light. The whispers that had haunted Desolation Falls for generations grew softer, as if joining in a chorus of longing and sorrow. The spirit's gaze remained fixed on Brooks, its eyes filled with a mixture of desperation and hope. Brooks felt a profound connection, a shared understanding of the pain that both the living and the departed could endure. With a final, resolute utterance, Brooks invoked the seer's incantation, infusing it with his intention to break the curse that had ensnared the Whisperer. A brilliant light burst forth, enveloping the spirit in a radiant embrace. The forest itself seemed to shudder, as if acknowledging the pivotal moment. As the light intensified, the Whisperer's form began to disintegrate, its essence dispersing like smoke caught in the wind. The cabin trembled, and the echoes of whispers faded into the abyss. When the light subsided, the cabin stood empty, its walls devoid of the spectral presence that had haunted it for so long. Brooks knew that the Whisperer's spirit had found release, its redemption finally attained. The forest outside the cabin was still, the ancient trees casting elongated shadows under the moonlight. Brooks emerged from the cabin, his heart heavy with the weight of the encounter but also with a sense of closure and redemption. In the days that followed, Desolation Falls underwent a transformation. The whispers that had been an inseparable part of its history gradually faded, replaced by a newfound tranquility. The townspeople, once haunted by the specter of the whisper, began to rebuild their lives with a renewed sense of hope. Emily Turner's disappearance remained a mystery, but the town's unity and resilience had been fortified by the ordeal. Brooks knew that Desolation Falls would forever carry the echoes of its past, but those echoes were now infused with a sense of redemption and closure. As Brooks continued to delve into Emily's case, he stumbled upon a collection of old letters hidden in her room. The letters spoke of a familial connection to Desolation Falls, a lineage intertwined with the town's history. Brooks realized that Emily's presence in the town was no mere coincidence. It was a legacy that had drawn her into the Whisperer's path. The connection between Emily and the Whisperer revealed the intricate threads that tied the living and the spirits together, a testament to the shared experiences that transcended time and death. Just as Desolation Falls began to recover, a series of unsettling occurrences once again sent shivers down the residents' spines. Faint whispers returned, shadows seemed to move of their own accord, and a sense of unease settled over the town. Brooks knew that the struggle against the Whisperer's curse was far from over. The spirits of the past were not easily silenced, and the town's history continued to cast long shadows over its present. As the whispers grew louder, Brooks realized that the true source of the curse extended beyond the Whisperer itself. Beneath the town's surface lay hidden secrets and unaddressed grievances that had festered for generations. Brooks knew that in order to truly break the curse's hold on Desolation Falls, he would have to confront the unresolved conflicts that had given rise to the Whisperer's malevolent spirit. The echoes of the past demanded to be heard, and Brooks was determined to uncover the truth, no matter how dark or unsettling. The web of connections between the town's history and its present became increasingly intricate. Brooks uncovered a series of interconnected events, each contributing to the Whisperer's curse. It was as if the town's past had become a tapestry of sorrow and suffering, woven with threads of regret and vengeance. As Brooks followed the trail of clues, he realized that he was unraveling more than just the mystery of the Whisperer. He was unearthing the heart of Desolation Falls itself. In his quest for answers, Brooks discovered an underground chamber hidden beneath Desolation Falls, a place where a group of influential individuals, known as the Council of Shadows, had gathered over the centuries. The council had wielded power and influence, but their actions had sown the seeds of discord that had fueled the Whisperer's curse. Among the council's members was a figure from Emily's lineage, a revelation that brought her connection to the town's history full circle. Brooks realized that the key to lifting the curse lay in confronting the council's misdeeds and seeking a way to reconcile the past with the present. As Brooks dug deeper into the council's secrets, he uncovered a series of betrayals, vendettas, and unspeakable acts that had driven the town's history to its current state. The council's influence had reached every corner of Desolation Falls, staining the town with a legacy of corruption and despair. Emily's disappearance had been intricately linked to the council's actions, a truth that Brooks couldn't ignore. He knew that in order to free both Emily and the town from the Whisperer's curse, he would have to confront the council and expose their hidden sins. Confronting the council was a perilous endeavor, but Brooks had come too far to turn back now. Armed with the knowledge he had gathered, he assembled the townspeople and confronted the council in a tense and dramatic showdown. In the dimly lit chamber where the council had convened for centuries, Brooks unveiled the extent of their atrocities. The room echoed with accusations and revelations, and the council's members were forced to confront the consequences of their actions. As Brooks spoke, the air seemed to grow heavier, as if the spirits of the past were watching and waiting for justice to be served. Amid the revelations and accusations, one member of the council stepped forward, a figure from Emily's lineage. With tears in their eyes, they confessed to their ancestors' role in the events that had set the Whisperer's curse in motion. The confession was met with a heavy silence, the weight of the town's history and the spirit's grievances pressing upon them all. Brooks knew that the path to redemption required sacrifice, not only from the council, but from the town itself. At a moment that seemed to transcend time, the townspeople and the council gathered at the edge of the forest. Brooks stood before them, his voice carrying the weight of the past and the hope for the future. The council's member, Emily's descendant, spoke words of remorse and restitution, vowing to undo the council's wrongs and seek forgiveness from the spirits they had wronged. With a shared sense of purpose, the townspeople and the council members invoked a ritual that merged their intentions and united their fates. As the ritual's energy enveloped them, a radiant light suffused the forest, dispelling the shadows that had plagued Desolation Falls for centuries. The whispers that had haunted the town were replaced by a sense of peace and closure. Emily's disappearance, the Whisperer's curse, and the town's dark history had all converged in a moment of reckoning and redemption. Desolation Falls had broken free from the chains of its past, and as the first light of dawn broke through the trees, the town stood on the precipice of a new beginning.